back to the channel. Lesson 2. We talking credit. Let me make this smoothie. We're gonna sit down and talk about it. Be right back. Yeah, let's pour up. Pour up. Take a seat. We're gonna talk about what we need to know about the most important thing on the planet. Stay tuned. I'll tell you why later. Yeah, it is now. Ah, baby, what's up? Yeah, we back at it. You must stay healthy. Love green juices. But we talking credit. Most important thing on the planet. In this video, I'm gonna teach you some easy ways to maintain, sustain, and build a good credit score. Because nowadays, there's very little talk about credit. You know, it's villainized. People feel like, oh, stay away from that. Just dealing cash. But no, that's not the way. Credit, in reality, is the most important financial decisions and tools you can use with dealing personal finance. A good credit score can be the difference between building wealth, getting great deals on properties, and earning free stuff. Yeah, I'll talk more about the free stuff later in the video, but definitely, credit is a game changer. We also going to talk about how to avoid overpaying in interest. And the best part about the video, it's totally free. All you got to do is commit a little bit of your time and shatter that like button. I'm talking about beat it up because it helps me out. Thanks in advance. You're doing good. Please leave a comment down below. And yes, I read all of them because I really care about what y'all got to say, y'all feedback, what else I should speak on in the future. Definitely get down in the comment section and let me know. I would love to hear from you. And with recent changes to the credit score algorithm, it was really important to me to deliver this video so it can be as accurate as possible. Again, thanks in advance. You're doing good. Quick background. What is credit? Why is it important? How your score is calculated. All three things matter. Credit is like a grade. You know, in school, you hand in your test, you hand in your homework, and you get a grade for your performance. Well, credit is a grade that banks and lenders look at your credit grade or your score so they can determine how much money they're gonna lend, how much interest they're gonna charge you on the money. It comes into play in everyday life. Listen to me when I tell you, everyday life. Anytime you apply for an auto loan, a mortgage, a credit card, or you even try to get an apartment just to, you know, get your first spot out your mom and dad, credit plays a major factor in. Banks and lenders check what is called a FICO score. And a FICO score is to see if you're actually credit worthy. Like I said, your grade. They want to see what type of grades you got dealing with credit. Also, they want to see where do you fall at on the credit scale. And the scale goes from 300 to 850. 300 being poor, 850 being excellent. So they want to see where you fall on that scale. The higher the credit score, the better your chances is at the banks and with lender. Because if your score is pretty high, they'll perceive you as you know how to handle money, you know how to pay back your debts, you have a good grade, like I spoke on before. Therefore, the lower your score is, the more risk you are in the banks and the lenders' eyes. So we want to be on the high end of the scale. Borrow money and build wealth. Borrow money and get a good interest rate. Borrow money, get a good loan. It's more expensive to have bad credit. I'm gonna say it one more time. You feel me? It's more expensive to have bad credit because in the long run, interest rate is going to be extremely high. They're going to overcharge you for money that you need to borrow in a tough time or money you need to borrow to build wealth. So if your credit score is below 680, that's bad. But the good thing about credit is you can rebuild it, you can repair it, and you can use these tips and techniques that I'm sharing with you right now to sustain a better credit score in the long run. If your credit score is under 680, you'll either get rejected or they'll lend you the money, but they'll charge you a higher interest rate because they look at it like statistically, you'll have a higher likelihood of not paying, running off. You know the song, Running Off on the Plug. That, you know, that's just a song though, right? But they look at you like you're a risk, so they're not gonna be willing to just lend you money. They don't care who your parents is, what your background was. If your grades ain't reflecting that you know how to be responsible with money, you're not getting bread. Or you're gonna get some money, but they're gonna charge you higher interest. But like I said, thankfully, there's a solution. So it don't matter if you got low credit, no credit, or you trying to increase your credit score, don't worry. There are simple tricks you can use to boost your score, to maintain and to build a credit score. First tip, we talking credit history. It makes up 35% of your score. As long as you make your payments on time, as agreed, without ever being late, then you'll have a good score when dealing with your credit history. Like I said, it's 35% of your credit score. It's a big piece of the pie, right? We want to always pay on time, never be late. And if we are late, we want to be able to call, have a conversation with the lender, and hopefully get the late fee waived and make the payment. And if you are late or miss a payment and hurt your score, being his way towards on-time payments. Remember, credit history is 35%. So we have to make these payments on time as agreed. And late payments, they stay on your score, on your report for 7 years. Remember that. Second, credit utilization makes up 30% of your score. Takes into account like how much is available, which is if they give you 10,000, how much you actually use. And you always want to keep your utilization under 9%. That's what studies say is best. 9% and under. So you never want to max out your credit. You want to keep it, low. Because if you max out your credit, it will lower your score. Lenders and banks will view you as a risky borrower. And that's no good because, we want to keep our name and our face good when we talking to these lenders and banks because we want to be able to borrow money from the bank. Third, your average age of credit. That's 15% of your score. Lenders see the longer you have your accounts open and they're in good standings, which you're paying on time, you're not maxing out your limits, they'll view you and you'll have higher chances of being viewed as a responsible, experienced borrower. And that's very important when they're looking at your grades. Fourth, we talking about the types of credits you have, and that makes up 10% of your score. Lenders and banks want to see you have different types of accounts so they can know that you are experienced in handling different type of accounts, which is like auto, credit card, mortgage, or even just personal loans, lease payments. I recommend if you get in position of your utilization is high, getting or opening as many no-fee credit cards to increase utilization. No fee, no annual fee. Open as many as you can to increase your utilization if you run into a situation where you had to max it out. Now, if you get in trouble and you fall behind on late payments, once you back in position, pay those late payments ASAP. Once you get back on your feet, pay your late payment. It's much better to have a 30-day late payment than a 90-day late payment. Even if you only make the minimum payment on your balance, it beats having a late payment. It's always worth it to negotiate the terms of your debt if you fall behind and bring your account back to current. Reach out to the lender and work something out. They understand things do happen, but to avoid it or to act like it don't exist will definitely affect your score. Late payments are notorious for being charged off, and the lender never recoups. They never get anything back. So most companies rather negotiate to get something because what's half a zero? So like I said earlier, call the lender to see if they will be willing to remove it as a courtesy. Please note, they're not obligated to do it though. So like I said, you could call and see if they'll do it as a courtesy, but they're not obligated. And being polite definitely goes a long way. So keep monitoring services to always check for inaccuracies, any discrepancies, amounts owed, due dates, or anything else. You have to keep that service so you can keep up on those things because they all affect your score. Yo, we pay for entertainment monthly. Netflix, Hulu. We talking about credit. Once again, the most important thing on the planet. You definitely can pay a monthly subscription to make sure your credit is right. And by keeping this monitoring service, you can dispute inaccuracies. And if they're not correct, they have to remove them. By doing this and by having that service can make a huge difference in a short amount of time. Trust and believe. And the process don't take long. It's about an hour of work. We have 24 in a day. Choose wisely. 5. Never close old accounts. Here's why. Because our scores are calculated by the average age of the account. account history. When you close out an account, all that back history gets erased. That affects your score. And by erasing your old accounts, now your report will show that, and it will look like you have newer accounts posted, and that can affect your score and make your score report lower. Preventative measures: don't close out old accounts. Rule of thumb is cards that have no annual fees, always keep them open. You know, you could charge $1 or $2 just for activity purposes, but no annual fees, keep those open. But if your card does have an annual fee, call the company and see if you can downgrade to keep the credit history. Keep your cards in good standings and active. That will help keep credit score as high as possible. Lastly, don't pay anyone to repair your credit. All of this, you can do it yourself, and it's totally free, and you can do it in under an hour, and it's easy to do it yourself. Those are my tips and techniques to maintaining a healthy credit score. By doing this and maintaining your score above 750 or so, your chances will increase to get the best rates on a mortgage, auto loan, credit card sign-ups, a bunch of rewards you definitely can earn. You definitely can open yourself up to countless opportunities that will save you money. It definitely wouldn't be possible without a good credit score. You feel me? And with that said, thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. And as always, shatter that like button, subscribe button, and your notification bell. Also, feel free to add me on IG. I post pretty much daily. Lastly, if you want the credit monitoring service I spoke on earlier, I added the link down in the description. Catch you in traffic. Safe travels.